Hey, howdy, hey folks. It is Mrs. Johnson with the Agri Wisdom channel. We are doing another video for my data, distractions, and sometimes disasters playlist because I am in grad school for agricultural education. And so these videos will eventually get better, is the hope. But I'm a busy grad school student, so that means this today. And this is how I can show up this week. So something is better than nothing. I've been on this whole spiel about ag genetics, and I wanted to share a resource that my little sister actually shared with me when I was talking to her about the videos that I was making. And she's like, "Oh, I played this online web game where I breed horses and it's genetically accurate and all of these things." And so I wanted to show you, if you folks wanted to play it, you totally could, because I think it's nerdy and cool and a good way to practice genetics in real world practice. So let's talk about it. Now, if I do this correctly, we'll start here. So you can Google these. I'm sure they have dog color calculators, horse, cat color calculators. We talked in the last couple of videos about genetic testing and getting color genetics tested for. And this is one of those things where you can plug in the genes that you know, genes that you don't, and predict a full. And then it gives you a percentage based on the genes that you put in. You can go through and do the Punnett squares on this. I like the color predictors, has a fact check. So go through, do the Punnett squares until you kind of get to the point to where you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting it pretty spot on every single time. That's why I like those. There's another one I'm going to show you called PunnetSquares.com. They've got lots of examples of stuff. Some of the stuff we covered, some of the stuff we didn't. And it gives you examples, it walks you through the things, actually explains some of the genes, which is really cool. Links to sources. Some of the sources don't work, apparently. But links to sources tells you about the things. I like this one a lot. And, oh, yeah, see up here, it'll have you pick for different genes. If we were to do that. Yeah. And I'm sure there's an enter button somewhere. Anyway. Do something crazy like that. See, 50% buckskin when I start changing things around. Smoky black instead, see? And so you can kind of poke around and see that. I like this one because it'll actually tell you what the agriculturalist would call that color. Which is my only qualm with horse reality, is you have to reverse engineer that. Because I'm in grad school and no longer living at home, I did make an account for horse reality. This is my account. And I've been playing with it. Me and my little sister have talked genetics and done the things and been like, what happens if I breed this and that and this and that and this and that. The nice thing is they're pretty breed accurate, from my understanding. I'm not very involved in the horse world anymore, so my apologies if I'm misspeaking. But the Norman Cobbs only have 3 color genetics. I'll show you. And there's more to the game than the color genetics. You can actually go through and train and care and breed and do all sorts of stuff on this game. You can compete, all sorts of stuff. Breed, trade, AI, embryo transfers, all sorts of cool stuff. But if I go to colors, you can get them lab tested. It'll come back. And this is a Norman Cobb. I don't know what Norman Cobb is, but it was one of the base horses that they let me pick. And so I picked it. And color modifiers, there's differences. But I wanted to show you, where's it at? Haha. This is a Mustang. This little dude. And when we look at the color, now, because Mustangs have more color genetics, it will actually let me test for everything that that breed can throw. Whether or not they have it. Like, let's see. What's a good example? Oh, like this little dude. I think he's just a black horse. With some color stuff, maybe. But there's other ones that, like, definitely have color genes. Like some of these Palominos and Paints and, yeah, anyway. I thought it was cool and nifty and interesting to see. And the nice thing is they actually have a Wikipedia page where they talk about how inheritance works in their game. Consists of around 50 genes. Together they determine blah, blah, blah. Separated into 5 groups. Color genetics, potential, conformation, health, and height. So they actually do genetics for other things aside from color genetics. And a lot of those are things that we talk about in EPDs and some of the other things that I also use as examples. It'll tell you how they're inherited, it'll define some things, and it gives you some examples. And the color variation, and how some things are random. Different rarities. Some are inheritable, some are not. Oh. Breeding with a horse that has one of these variations does not guarantee. Oh, some are inheritable. That's what I'm saying. I'm tired. It's been a long day. This is why it's in the sometimes disasters category, okay? I don't make the rules. Well, I make the rules. The rules is this is in the sometimes disastrous category because I'm tired. It's the end of the day. I'm just yapping about a resource that you can use. You can read the rest if you want. It's not hard to find. I've got one last hoorah for you before I let you go for the evening where I'm at today. They also have a color genetics guide that kind of goes into base colors, dilutions, modifiers, and white patterns and white markings. Locusts? I remember saying this in another video. Locusts are groups of genes, like where the genes are located, and extensions? I don't remember what extensions are. But I think I'm almost certain I missed to find it in a video. Somewhere. So. Anyway. Let's see. Color genetics guard. If I look at the base colors, it'll tell me about the base colors. And it'll actually tell me, like, the extension. Oh, the extension gene is responsible. And I like this because it's kind of nerdy. So it'll tell you the gene. It'll tell you like the vocab words that you need to know. And then it'll explain it in basic terms. And see, the extension gene is in a linkage group with the KIT locust, but this is not a feature in horse reality. Linked genes are passed on together as a unit rather than independently in different combinations. This means that if a horse is big E, little e, SB1, N, for example, it would only pass on either the dominant genes or the recessive genes together. Like they would go together because they're in the same. So locust is a place in the genetic code. And so linked groupings get passed down in groupings, which is part of the reason why locust is important. Because you need to know if they're linkage groups or not. Which I didn't realize was a thing. But I'm not surprised that it's a thing because genetics does crazy things. And then it goes into dilutions and modifiers and white patterns. These are all things that affect your base color. Kind of like we talked about in the dogs and stuff. Let's see. If we click one, what's it say? Yeah, modifiers change the appearance of a horse's coat without diluting the color. Example, gray, dapple gray, steel gray, flea-bitten gray, bloody shoulder, flaxen, the sooty modifier. I don't know how to say that. I've seen horses like that. They're really cute, though. Not gonna lie. Dilutions. What are dilutions? Dilutions lighten the coats or the points. May influence skin or eye color. Cream. Pearl. Dun. Champagne. These are things that people breed for often. Silver. You know, a lot of people kind of want to avoid gray in a horse, from what I remember, because like a horse with a gray gene, you might have a really pretty dun, but by the time they're 15, 20, they're like solid white. And so they went from like this really beautiful bay dun color or really beautiful, red roan color. And then they just turn white and gray and like a little old guy. Which I kind of find is adorable. And then it gets into white patterns. And oh, this is also where what's it called? Oh, overo-lethal white syndrome, which we did not talk about in my videos. But there are conditions where you can breed livestock, breed anything, to a point to where they have a non-viable gene combination. Basically meaning that you will breed two animals together, and there is a certain % chance that that baby will die. Because I don't remember what overo-lethal white syndrome does exactly. Oh, underdeveloped intestinal tract. There's no cure because it's in the genetics. There's not enough coding in the genetics when they get two complete ones to complete the intestinal tract. And then you can Google it and find lots of other ways and genes that happens in. There's lots of examples in humans. I'm sure there's lots of examples in dogs and cats and all sorts of stuff. But without further ado, it is my bedtime. I stayed up late to make a video for you guys. So, I hope you learned something. I hope you're safe. I hope you're enjoying your time. take what I've got to say and spread it merrily in the world, and go learn some ag, guys. Go do some stuff. Okay, bye. Have a good day. Mrs. Johnson out. Bye.